Hi, everybody. This is Coffee Brown, and my channel is called Coffee Spills the Tea. So, as always, we're going to talk about things that you want to maybe be aware of and see if we can help each other out. This channel is for Black women specifically, although all are welcome, but I try to put my focus on them about finding um, self uh, just having inner peace and being able to help yourself and being able to do things for yourself so that you then can turn around and help others. Because, let's just say in our community, we tend to be the nurturers and do quite a bit. It just makes you tired after a while. So today we're just going to kind of recap some of the things that I've been working on. Or because as I have said, yes, I am looking to move out of the country. I'm looking to make some lifestyle changes, et cetera, et cetera. I just want to kind of catch up. So last time I did a video was last week, and I thought I was going to have something at the end of the weekend, and then I just kind of didn't. It was a holiday. I just wanted to kind of relax. So before I go any further, please remember, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit that notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you get notified. And share this video with your friends and have them come and check out my channel as well. I am working on boosting the algorithms over time, organically, and this will grow, especially as I start gravitating towards getting out of here and I start putting together more of an action plan of what I'm doing and how you can do it as well. But let's start off with the diet. And I'm not even going to call it a diet. I call it a lifestyle adjustment. Are you doing a lifestyle adjustment? Are you like me finding that you are overweight and need to do something because you're feeling unhealthy? If I have been talking about that for a while, but I really could not afford to pay the gym because, there's so many fees. There's a processing fee, there's a startup fee, and then your first month's fee. And sometimes they want you to pay the last month's fee, so many fees. So I just couldn't do it. And then I finally was able to sign up for one because they had a sale. It was great. So I went ahead and I signed up for Planet Fitness and I just had to put $1 down. And so I have been going to the gym every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 3:15. I get up at 3:15 a.m. and I'm at the gym by about 3:45. So I have to do some hygiene things to get ready, get changed, and get dressed out the door and then drive over there. It's a really close gym. I thought I was going to be a little unhappy with Planet Fitness, but that time in the morning, nobody's there. They've just cleaned out the bathrooms. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're like, hey, if you can stand doing the early mornings, then I mean, go for it because I really think that that's the best time. You don't have to worry about sharing a machine. You can clean it down, then do your workout, clean it down when you're done. You don't have to worry about somebody coming in, tapping on your shoulder and asking if they can work in sets, if you're going to work out and with lifting weights or anything like that. It's, pretty free and clear. So I was not able to get batteries for my scale because as I have told you, I my scale when you get on it the first time, it just does initial like adjustment and says zero. I have what's called a zero scale. It's called the zero scale. And so the next time I get on the scale, it will tell me how many days it's been since I've last been on the scale. And then it will tell me if I have gained or lost or maybe maintained. And it'll give me like plus however many pounds I've gained or minus how many pounds I've lost. I love that scale. doesn't freak me out about weight because I know I've gained a lot of weight because you know how it is. Every time you go on a diet, you lose the weight. If you gain it back, you gain it back plus more. And that is the god awful truth. That is how it works. So I had to be really careful because as I said the last time, I was like, yeah, it's going to be my last time. And I really think if I hadn't have fractured my kneecap, followed by, unfortunately, my gym closing due to COVID, and um, I probably would not have gotten into that situation. But once I started sliding, it was just like I just gave up and I was right back where I was within a year. So it kind of hurts knowing that I'm doing this again and knowing all the binge eating I've done. And this is what I'm going to advise you, like if you're binge eating, if you're sitting at your computer, especially if you have a job that's pretty sedentary, and you're just saying to yourself when you're looking in the mirror, it's not making you feel happy, or if you're huffing and puffing and you're feeling like this is not healthy, then this may be a time for you to go to the gym and just start working out. And if you can't afford it, like me, I am a gym person. I do have I have some weights here at home, but for some reason I need that gym mentality. I have to have it. And if you're that person, then I would start looking around for sales because that one just kind of popped up. And June is a good time of the year to give it a shot because that's when like it's just dead at the gyms. And so if you can get in there and get yourself into a sale, then you could probably get a little bit of a savings, and that might be an incentive as well. Okay, so I had not weighed in that first week, and so I want to wait at least a month before I report back and let you know. And I really honestly cannot tell. Like, I feel like nothing's changed. Like, I feel like my body's the same, my clothes are the same. Like, I just don't feel like anything's changed. I think the one thing that has changed for me is that, well, actually, there's a few things. I feel healthier in general. I'm not saying I feel healthy, I feel healthier. So when I would walk my dogs, I was always struggling to walk and I'd have to stop like many, many times. And I actually think that part of the reason why they're a little out of shape is because I'm starting and stopping and walking so slow, they're not able to get the exercise they need to get. Um, but we're getting faster. So I am walking the dogs faster. I'm able to walk longer distances. And I was noticing that I have unbearable back pain. And I also was watching. I remember American Idol Ruben Studdard. I think his name is Studdard. He was really a big guy when he won. And he was saying, because he lost a lot of weight, and he was saying that he noticed that he was overweight because he was like shifting his weight from when he'd be standing there, he'd be shifting his weight from one foot to the other, to the other, to the other. And I found that I was doing that quite a bit too. And my back was hurting so bad. Now my back is just kind of a twinge, and it might be also in part of the fact that I just had I it was my time of the month, which I was just like, oh, I hate that. And I just really can't wait for menopause to really kick in and just I never had to deal with that again. And it was a really bad week and it made me extremely tired and drained. And I just felt like I just wished that I could just like drain the bodily fluids out of my body and just lay down for an entire week. So it was like really bad, and my back was killing me. And it had been killing me right before it started and then throughout the week. And I'm just now at the point where it's just kind of like almost over and done with. But I did notice that I couldn't stand up for long periods, not even to shift my weight. And I found myself like leaning on things. If I would stand up and I would be in the kitchen cooking, I'd be like leaning on the countertop and just like holding myself up on the countertop and just doing things like that. And like stopping all the time. And it's just, it was not healthy. And so now I'm at that point where I'm like, I can almost like I really make a point of like being in the kitchen, or if I have to be someplace where I have to stand up, is to not like automatically just lean on something and like make that hold me up. I engage my core, and I really work to keep my core fired up. And I can do it now because I could not do it. I could not do that 3 weeks ago. I just couldn't when I first started. So I am hoping that next week is going to show a bit of a difference. I've also kind of upped the ante because right now all I can do is an hour on the treadmill. And again, remember, like my first time on the treadmill, I think I went no more than 1.5 miles per hour. That was it. I couldn't do anything else. Now I kind of gradually I start with a warm up at 1.6 miles per hour, and then I gradually ramp it up. And then today, because I do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at the gym, today on my way out, I said, okay, my last 10 minutes, I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna go to like 2.8 miles per hour and see how that feels in the last 10 minutes of the workout. And it didn't feel great, but it didn't feel like I was gonna die either. So the name of the game, if you are working out and you're exercising, is always make sure there's going to be challenge. Always going to make sure there's challenge. Because if you're just doing it and you're just like not feeling anything, and I'm not saying no pain, no gain. I'm saying challenge. My challenge is like each at the by the time I get to Friday, I want to be able, and then I just put like point oh 0.01 miles per hour or whatever, or point 0.1 miles per hour or something. But I need to be able to push myself. And so I can know that the next week when I come back, that's going to be my start point. And I slowly, slowly, slowly just amp up the intensity. And so, and just stretching, and of course, making sure you stretch before, make sure you have a little bit of carbs in your body before you get started. Really hard for me because if I'm doing it in the morning, you know, if I, my last meal, I have to be done by 5 o'clock, exception today because I was just really tired and I had a really crazy day. Um, but generally, I'm done by 5 o'clock, like no more eating, no nothing, just water. And so between 5 p.m. and the time I get to the gym the next morning, if I hadn't have like sipped over like, like 6 ounces of Gatorade, I don't even know if I can make it through the workout. You have to have some carbs in your system in order to be able to do the workout. It's a better quality workout. So try if you are doing exercising, you're like, you know what, I need to get my weight down. Try to get a little bit of carbs in you. And the reason why I feel confident in saying that is because once upon a time, I was a fitness instructor, a personal trainer, a wellness programming manager, and I had my own Pilates and fitness studio. I know what it takes, and that's why it's just kind of shameful that I let myself go because I knew like where it was going to end up. But I am going to tell you that if you stick with it over time, things are going to happen, and that's why I'm like, I'm not going to just obsess and then keep looking at myself in the mirror and try to see if there's any changes or if my clothes. I'm just going to keep going, and just right now, I'm just trying to see how I feel and then weigh in for it'll be 4 weeks since my last weigh in. And so I will weigh in and I will let everybody know how is coffee doing. Um uh uh yeah. So just letting everybody know about that. Um I'm going to start incorporating weights. Right now it's just cardio. I am going to start incorporating weights as of the end after my I do my weigh-in because this first month I just need it to be until I finish with I do my weigh-in because after that it'll be a weigh-in every month. Um, but I want to be able to make it just about getting my stamina up. Next month and then going on, I will be focusing on doing weights and cardio so that I can get strength training, so I can build my core, so I can get muscle mass. And muscle, a pound of muscle is the same weight as a pound of fat, but muscle has shape. And so if you have muscle instead of fat, you will look leaner because, muscle has shape. Fat does not. It's just going to be like a pound of fat that's just kind of like congealing in your body. And so you should not be afraid of building muscle because muscle is what's going to give you shape. It's going to make you nice and it's going to make you appear slimmer and longer and leaner. And so you want to be able to do some type of weights. My goal when I go into the weights, hopefully, is to focus on doing compound, multi-movement, multi-joint, multi-muscle movements, and then work my way maybe into isolating exercises, depending. But I will let you all know and put down in the chat if you're doing what I'm doing, which is making that lifestyle adjustment and saying to yourself, hey, you know what? Time for me to make some changes. I'm curious to see. Everybody knows that I was not feeling good, not feeling happy. But the other thing is that I don't want to move overseas and be the fattest person in town. Like, I don't see very many, if at all, and I'm not saying they don't exist, but I've been to Europe and I just don't see a lot of like obese people. Like here, it's like swing a dead cat. They're everywhere. But, and I'm one of them. But over in Europe, like everybody's like trim and stuff. And I don't want to be trying to like pour myself into a seat and then people are looking at me. And then, and on top of that, again, I just want to be healthy when I'm over there. I don't want to be unhealthy and unhappy after I've done so much to get myself over there. So speaking of that, when you are moving overseas, of course, you need to have an income and you need to prove it. Now, there's a number of different visas that you can choose from if you're saying, I want to move overseas, and you're going to have to do the research on your country. If you're retiring, there's a certain amount of passive income that you have to prove at the consulate when you make your appointment, and you have to prove they're going to want to see it. So, if you're on Social Security and you're getting that Social Security check every month, or if you're living off, you retired and you have your 401k or whatever, you just have to show that you've got that passive income and you can go for a retirement visa in the place where you're looking to move to. You just have to prove it. I'm not retired, and at the rate this administration's going, they're going to work us until we're 90. So I'm going to have to keep working. So I have been working. There's a website. I want to try it out and then report back to you all. But there's a website I found that they focus on remote work. Are they charging a fee? Yes. And that's why I'm not going to talk about the name of it right now, but I just want to try it and see how it works. And I want to see if there's a money back guarantee where if you end up not getting a job, you're dissatisfied, or if you're finding that job ads are old or whatever, that you should be able to get your money back. So I'm going to let everybody know once I've tried it out. And so I'm just kind of working out the details on that. I, of course, don't get paid for that. I'm just trying to try out different things to save you all the time and the money and the frustration if you just go and try this website out and then find out that it's some kind of weird scam. Because there was another remote website that I liked, and then I went in there and they had these crazy high prices just to join. And then when I looked it up and did my due diligence on it, a lot of people were saying that you pay a lot of money and a lot of the jobs have been expired and people were really upset. And they have like some kind of trust website or trust factor website or something where you can look at the trusts of the company, like are they scammers or whatever? And they were kind of low on there. So that was the other company. This company seems to have good reputation. It's like 4.2 to 4.5 stars out of 5. And I said to myself, okay, I'm going to try this one out. But do remember that if you're moving overseas, you can't just go. You have to check with the consulate. You do have to, in some cases, you'll have to make an appointment. They will tell you which consulate to go to, and then you'll have to have your passport and all the accompanying documentation before you get there. So there was like a number of things, and I'm just gonna kind of like shout out a few of these things that were consulates. A few of the things that they asked of me in order to get, for me, it's going to be a digital nomad. And they asked me a few questions just to verify that number one, I was going to the correct consulate, because some want you like based on where you live. If I lived in Tennessee, they're not going to accept it if I like fly into California. Like they're going to be like, no, you need to go to the one in your region. So you need to know some things. But um, so there's a digital nomad visa that I want to apply for, and they said it's for highly specialized workers whose careers require or exceed the requirements listed. Um, and it said you need to be a freelancer, a consultant, or other independent specialist, or a remote worker, or an employee of a company. You're an employee of a company, but you perform the work completely remote. And then there are different requirements that they required, like a proof of 6 or more months prior work experience in the field. So you can't just like make a change in your field, like you get like, hey, I've been a receptionist for 10 years, and then like you get a remote job, and now you're a network engineer, and it's been 2 months, and you go on and you apply. They're gonna be like, no, no, no. You need to have been a network engineer for 6 months. So, proof of qualifying profession. So I've already explained that. So I have to make sure I am going to be in a qualifying profession, and I'm going to be freelance. You have to have your lease or your rental contract. You need to have medical insurance for a year, and it has to be the insurance coverage of at least $50,000. Okay. US 50,000. It's kind of nuts. So there's like a number of things that they're requiring from me in order for me to go to the consulate. So be aware of what they are, and look and see what it is that you're going to which visa that you're going to be applying for, and then make sure you know in advance before you go in there, because I hadn't even thought about it until I went to the website, and they were just like, no, you need to contact us and send us an email. We'll be back in touch with you, and we will tell you like what you're going to need to bring. And so when you come in for your appointment, set to schedule an appointment. And you can't do it um unless it's like within 6 months of your departure. So I can't do it like now and be like, yeah, I'm not moving till like July of 2026. They're going to be like, no, 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 6 months. So be aware of that, and make sure you're clearing that with your employer, because you can't just sneak and go overseas and then be like, I'm still I'm still living in the States, because they can, even if you have a VPN, like your data is coming across, and they can use a geolocator to see where that data is coming from. It's not going to be that hard for them to find you. So you need to make sure that you get the permission from your employer, which I understand now, because when you are an employer, if you have an employee that's working overseas, there's going to be compliance. Or they have to be in compliance with different rules or regulations that's required of Italy, in my case, or whatever country you're going to. Um, there's going to be tax laws that are going to need to adhere to. And in Italy, like, you know how like there's a certain amount of income that we set aside based on the company, and that goes into the retirement. Like the company does a certain amount, we do a certain amount. In Italy, I believe it's like they have to do the full amount. Like you don't have to do, there's no such thing as a match. Like they just give you that every single year. And there's other things too. And so it costs, and they have to pay the taxes to do business in Italy. So it costs them money, which is why they may end up paying you less. So my way around it is just to make sure that I go in as an as independent contractor or consultant or freelancer. That means that I will get a 1040 at the end of every year, which is why I have set up an LLC. I will work through my LLC as an independent contractor and make people pay me through my business. And then my from the business, I can do an owner's draw. Now, you need to check and do the due diligence for your state and how and like what entity you would like to set up for your business, and then follow it through. Um, and just make sure that you're in compliance with that because they are going to check. They are going to ask you for things like bank statements or your tax returns for the last few years or whatever, so that they can show that, or you can show that you have steady income. So they're going to find that to be very important. They don't want people to coming over to different countries poor. We all know there's no one perfect country. Every country is going to have its problems, every single one. And the last thing they want is someone coming over and creating yet another problem. So be aware of that and just start. If you're like, hey, you know what? I'm like coffee. I want to move. Then you have to know that you're going to have to start doing the research, which is why it's it is a bit harder for me to find a job right now because I'm looking for something that's very specific. I cannot be a W-2. I cannot have them saying that you can't do the work overseas because there's compliance. We have to be in compliance with like the data laws or something along those lines. So there's things you have to consider. And so it's better for you to be upfront, tell them what you want to do, and see how they can Okay. And see how they can make it happen. And if they can't make it happen, then you're just like, okay, let me just start looking for some 1099 jobs. Now, originally I was actually thinking about going for my PMP, the project management professional certification, but it is a lot. It's a lot. And I was just gonna jump in and do it. But the closer I got to my time that I was going to schedule, because I wanted to schedule it for like June 12th, I believe, the more I was finding that I'm concerned because I don't want to have an issue with failing that exam because it's really expensive. And you can only take it, I think, 3 times in a year. And I was reading, and a lot of people seem to be failing it, but I think they're failing it because it's a really long test and it's very demanding. But the rewards that you get for having your PMP, if you're, you know, being persistent, you can find a job in the field, is you just get paid so much more money. But I am also working on AI and have been working with AI. So if you check a few videos back, you'll see that I gave a number of free resources that you can use in order to train yourself up. And remember, I said you can get that remote job that's a six-figure salary by just doing these free courses. They're not crappy free courses. They're legit 100% free courses that people and companies respect. And I showed you how to get them for free. And so I'm using one of those resources now to go through AI training. And what I am going to also look to do is add on that I can be an AI consultant. So I was taking a lot of AI courses and project management courses today, but I have been taking a few AI courses and able to talk intelligently about it. I was just talking with a neighbor who'd never not worked with AI, and I was giving her some advice on what she needs to do so that she can get her work done quicker. And she just was like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about that." You will. So I was just like, yeah, it's something I think I can do, which is work as a consultant in AI or with AI or in AI or with companies that want to that want to maybe bring AI in. And here's the thing, like we all know, and they keep saying, oh, AI is not going to take your job. It's just going to make you more efficient. It's going to make you better at what you have to do. It's going to make it so that you don't have to spend all your time working on things that don't have too much meaning, and you can really focus on what it is that you want to do. I say AI is going to take a lot of jobs. And so for now, though, if you can get in on the front end of this, when you're still early adapter or adopter rather, I really think that you could end up making a good amount of cash money, well, not cash money, but money in the space fan or the space um span of I would say 3, 4, 5 years before it starts getting to the point where everybody knows it. The earlier you can get in as an AI adopter, the better off you are. So I'm taking a course now where they're talking about like this is what AI is, this is what machine learning is, deep learning, CNN, GANs, transformers, GPTs, like all of I'm taking a course that deals with explaining all of that, the theory behind it, and then taking us through what are the different AI tools that are out there that we can use for businesses. And so I have already put together a whole corporate bio that says that I can train people or your people on generative AI tools that can help them be more efficient at their jobs. And here's what, get efficient at it, use it, and realize, and I'm not just saying it because I'm like, yeah, because I'm going to be one of those evil people that helps take your job. It's just AI is already here. It's been here for, I don't know, like it's been working actively behind the scenes, I would say for at least the last 10 years. They've only just made it available to the public in the last 2 years. But you want to get into AI if you can. If you can. And if you can't, just find one of those courses. And I have one, it's called OpenAI Academy. The OpenAI Academy. And OpenAI is the company that owns the Chat GPT. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'll put a link in the chat, but you can actually go and let me see, is an Open Academy open here? Yep, it sure is. Let me go ahead and show this to you. Okay, so here's the OpenAI Academy, and you can just sign in over here, or you could just it says, look here, maybe later. Now, have to you don't have to sign in or anything like that. You could just start taking classes, but they're still going to get your information because these classes are live classes with people teaching you these things, and you can ask questions. And so, here's what introduction to Chat GPT. Have you worked with an LLM? Have you worked with Chat GPT? If not, this would be one that you want to sign up for. Look for anything that talks about uh setting up things, but don't involve code if you're not a programmer. Um, Look, they have a knowledge hub here. Explore quick videos, tutorials, and resources from AI basics to more advanced contents. They have community groups. There's events for virtual and in person. So OpenAI Academy is new. It's relatively new. That was just started by OpenAI, I guess, Sam Altman. And it's an opportunity for you to learn for free about working with AI. And there could be something in here where you can just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to learn. Well, here's what I'm going to do. What I'm going to say you can do. Go walk around and ask a whole bunch of people that you know, uh, have you worked with ChatGPT? Let's start with ChatGPT because everybody knows it. Have you worked with it? And if they're saying yes, just say, okay, what do you find is confusing? And write those things down. And if somebody hasn't worked with it, ask them, like, are there things that you do at your job that find that you're either struggling with or you wish you wouldn't have to do? And then go in and, like put that into it, like into put it into ChatGPT and just say, hey, ChatGPT, what courses on OpenAI Academy help to solve these people's issues? And let it suggest. And then say on top of that, start at the beginner level for knowledge. And just say, I am new to this area. Start me with basic beginner classes and show me the beginner classes that I can use to build a foundation, a knowledge foundation for myself, and let it pull up classes for you. And then go sign up and take them or get the on demand. So if you can do that, you can get into AI and you can stay ahead of it. Because if you wait and wait and wait and wait and wait, by the time you jump in, there's like millions of people ahead of you. You're not gonna be able to take advantage of the money, the opportunities that are out there. And they are out there. So I've signed up for that. I've taken a few AI courses. I already have an AI certification. The organization where I am certified is offering another AI essentials training. I will do that. They're also going to start working on security AI, working with AI in working to secure AI systems. And I think that's important too. Like, I think it's going to be bigger than cybersecurity. It is cybersecurity in the sense that it's on the internet, but but at the same time, AI is out of control because the people who are working with it, some of them don't know what it does. They don't know how to work with it. And as a result, they're creating security breaches in their organizations. So if you could be the person that comes in and just says, I'm going to monitor every single entity that's authorized to come in and work with your resources. And I'm going to be monitoring the AI of all of those entities. I think you're going to end up coming out ahead. Okay. So I would get into AI if you can. I'm really going to push for all of you. And what you want to look for is a no code option. Because nowadays AI can code. So if AI is coding, you don't need to do anything but describe what it is that you want, and then you let AI build it. And then once they do, you eyeball it, and then you're like, you know what, I don't want that. And it's redo it and take that away. And it will redo it, take it away, and then you can test it out. You know what? I don't like this one part here. You can have it take that part out. Then you can test it and run it and see. So, you um when it comes to these LLMs, you can really get proficient at it and make money off of this. Now, um, I guess that's pretty much it for what I have to offer for today because I've been trying to kind of pull it together. It's been a long day because as I said, I up at 3:15. It is now going on 10:15 at night, and I'm just kind of tired at this point. But I just know Saturday is going to be a day where I can sleep in for Saturday morning. So, yeah. But you know, keep working on what you're working on. Continue to look for those remote opportunities if you're looking to get out, or if you like, look, you don't want to go in. If you don't want to go into the office, that's fine. Start looking for remote work, looking for anything. And they keep saying, oh, remote work, it's dead. No, it's not. No, it's not. I know plenty of people that work remotely. I know plenty of people who go in. And if you want to work remotely, you're just going to have to push harder and be one of the first people to apply. And just remember, if you've got friends that are remote, their companies may be hiring. And sometimes companies like to hire from within, and you could end up getting in that way and work remotely. I love the fact that I don't have to go into work. I don't want to have to pay for gas. I paid for gas the day before Memorial Day. And I hope that I don't have to pay for gas again for another month. I just don't want to spend the money. And yeah, and I still make sure that if I'm at home, one light on, computer's on, that's it. And I don't go out and shop anymore because I don't need to, because I would have in the past, would have ran down the street and grabbed me some M&Ms or whatever. I don't do that anymore. But start making your moves if you're now this is all about like what I'm doing to like get to my end goal of like losing weight, being able to get that remote job, moving overseas. But hopefully it's giving you all some ideas if any of those things are things that you want to do. And I will continue to chronicle these things and let you all know how I'm doing these things. And, you know, go ahead and take it. Take whatever I give you and use it for whatever works best for you. All right. So, I'm going to get off now. So, again, my name is Coffee Brown. This channel is called Coffee Spills the Tea, just like it says over there. And if you could, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and give it a thumbs up. It'll help my algorithm. It doesn't cost you a thing. It just helps me with my algorithms and help YouTube be able to pull like-minded people into my channel. So y'all have a good weekend. I will not like promise that I'm going to come back with another video this weekend. This might be all I can do. But if I do not, then have a great weekend and I will see you sometime next week. Bye, everybody.